The dark side of helping others. 13. Surprising ways it can harm you. Buddhist teachings. As Gautama Buddha once wisely said, "You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." These words serve as a poignant reminder that while helping others is undoubtedly noble, neglecting our own well-being in the process can lead to unforeseen consequences. Today, we're delving into a topic that's often glorified but rarely scrutinized: the act of helping others. In a world where kindness is celebrated and altruism is praised, it's easy to overlook the potential downsides of constantly extending a helping hand. Join us as we uncover the dark side of helping others, shedding light on 13 surprising ways it can actually harm you. From the psychological toll of the martyr syndrome to the subtle erosion of personal boundaries, we'll explore the complexities of altruism and self-care in today's interconnected world. So sit back, open your mind, and prepare to rethink the true meaning of compassion. Number 1. Neglecting personal needs. In the pursuit of helping others, it's all too easy to neglect our own needs, and while this selflessness is often seen as virtuous, it can lead to unintended consequences. Whether it's dedicating long hours to support a friend in crisis or consistently prioritizing the needs of others over our own, this neglect can come at a significant cost: the erosion of essential self-care. Imagine a scenario where we find ourselves constantly on call, responding to the needs and demands of those around us, while ignoring our own physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Over time, this pattern of behavior can take a toll, leaving us feeling depleted, exhausted, and burnt out. Putting others' needs above our own can lead to a neglect of essential self-care practices such as getting enough sleep, eating healthily, and engaging in regular exercise. Without these fundamental forms of self-nourishment, we become more susceptible to stress, illness, and emotional overwhelm. It's akin to the analogy of the oxygen mask on an airplane. We are instructed to secure our own mask first before assisting others. This isn't selfishness. It's a necessary measure to ensure we have the capacity to help effectively. Prioritizing personal well-being while still helping others is essential in maintaining a healthy balance. This might involve setting aside dedicated time each day for self-care activities such as meditation, journaling, or going for a walk in nature. It may also entail establishing clear boundaries around our availability and willingness to offer assistance, ensuring that we have the time and space to tend to our own needs. Additionally, cultivating self-compassion and recognizing the importance of our own well-being is crucial in this process. Just as we would extend empathy and understanding to a friend in need, we must learn to offer the same kindness to ourselves. By prioritizing personal well-being, we not only replenish our own reserves, but also become better equipped to offer genuine support and assistance to others. Consider the words of Thich Nhat Hanh: "To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance." This speaks to the need for self-love and self-care as foundational to our ability to contribute positively to the lives of others. In essence, while helping others is undoubtedly a noble endeavor, it's essential to remember that we cannot pour from an empty cup. By prioritizing our own needs and practicing self-care, we can ensure that our desire to help others comes from a place of abundance rather than depletion. This approach not only sustains our own health, but also enhances the quality of the support we provide to others. As we integrate this philosophy into our lives, we foster a more balanced, fulfilling existence that allows us to be truly present and effective in our efforts to help others. After all, it is only by taking care of ourselves that we can truly show up for others in a meaningful and sustainable way, embodying the Buddhist teaching of interconnectedness and the harmonious balance between self and others. Number 2. Dependency issues. Have you ever noticed that sometimes the more you help someone, the more they seem to rely on you? This phenomenon highlights a crucial aspect of helping others, the potential for dependency issues to arise. While our intentions may be pure, excessive help can inadvertently foster a sense of dependency in those we're trying to assist, ultimately hindering their growth and self-reliance. When individuals become accustomed to receiving assistance for even the smallest tasks, they may begin to rely on others to solve their problems or meet their needs, rather than developing the skills and resilience to do so themselves. This pattern can be particularly harmful in situations where individuals are capable of handling challenges independently, but choose not to due to the availability of external support. Real-life examples abound to illustrate the consequences of fostering dependency through excessive help. Consider the case of a parent who constantly swoops in to rescue their child from minor setbacks, such as forgotten homework or disagreements with friends. While the parent's intentions may be to shield their child from hardship, they inadvertently rob them of the opportunity to learn from their mistakes and develop problem-solving skills. Similarly, in professional settings, managers who micromanage their employees may inadvertently stifle creativity and initiative, leading to a team that's overly reliant on direction rather than taking ownership of their work. Ultimately, dependency issues can create a cycle of learned helplessness, where individuals come to believe that they're incapable of overcoming challenges without external assistance. As helpers, it's essential to strike a balance between offering support and encouraging independence. True empowerment comes from equipping others with the tools and confidence to navigate life's challenges on their own. Buddha once told the story of a young bird learning to fly. The bird's mother encouraged it to jump from the nest, but out of fear, the bird hesitated. The mother bird did not push it, but instead showed how to fly by example. Eventually, the young bird took the leap, fluttered awkwardly at first, but then soared into the sky with newfound strength and freedom. This story teaches us that while guiding and supporting others is vital, we must also allow them to experience struggles and victories firsthand to build their capabilities. To further understand this, let's consider how helping too much can actually hinder growth. Think about a time when you felt proud of overcoming a challenge on your own. How did that experience shape your confidence and problem-solving skills? Conversely, recall a moment when someone stepped in to solve a problem for you. Did it make you feel more capable, or did it leave you feeling dependent on their assistance? These reflections can help us see the importance of fostering independence in those we support. One powerful quote from the Buddha says, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can, and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." This wisdom underscores the necessity of self-reliance and personal growth. It reminds us that while support is beneficial, ultimately, each individual must find their way. Encouraging self-sufficiency is not about abandoning others in their time of need. It's about providing the right amount of guidance and then stepping back to let them discover their own strengths. As we navigate our roles as helpers, it's important to ask ourselves, are we helping in a way that empowers others, or are we inadvertently creating dependency? By reflecting on this question, we can adjust our approach to ensure that our support fosters growth and resilience. Encouraging those we help to take initiative and face challenges on their own can be incredibly empowering. It builds their confidence and capability, preparing them for future obstacles. In conclusion, while helping others is a noble act, it's crucial to strike a balance that promotes independence and self-reliance. By doing so, we truly empower others to navigate life's challenges confidently and competently. Remember, the ultimate goal of helping is to equip others with the tools they need to succeed on their own, just as the young bird learned to fly. How can you adjust your approach to support others in a way that builds their independence and resilience? Reflect on this as you continue your journey of helping and empowering those around you. Number 3. The martyr syndrome. The martyr syndrome is a prevalent issue many people face, particularly those who habitually put others' needs ahead of their own. This syndrome, often rooted in a deep-seated desire to help and support, can lead to significant mental and emotional strain. As the renowned psychologist Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." This phenomenon, known as the martyr syndrome, occurs when individuals prioritize the well-being of others to their own detriment, often neglecting their own needs and desires. It's a slippery slope that can lead to a host of negative consequences, including emotional exhaustion, feelings of inadequacy, and ultimately burnout. The psychological toll of the martyr syndrome is profound. By consistently putting others first, we risk depleting our emotional reserves, which can fuel feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth. Gautama Buddha wisely stated, "You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." Yet those suffering from the martyr syndrome often struggle to internalize this fundamental truth. They find themselves caught in a cycle of self-neglect, constantly striving to be the savior for family, friends, and co-workers, while their own needs remain unmet. This relentless pursuit of helping others can erode one's sense of well-being, leading to emotional and physical burnout. Self-sacrifice, while noble in theory, can pave the way for resentment and fatigue. Imagine a scenario where you're perpetually juggling the demands of family, friends, and colleagues, all while neglecting your own self-care. Over time, this pattern can leave you feeling emotionally drained and overwhelmed. The relentless need to help others can foster feelings of resentment towards those you're aiding and even towards yourself. This resentment can further exacerbate the psychological toll, creating a vicious cycle that is hard to break. In essence, the martyr syndrome is a double-edged sword. While it may garner praise and admiration from those around us, it often comes at the expense of our own mental and emotional health. As the Dalai Lama reminds us, if you feel burnout setting in, if you feel demoralized and exhausted, it is best, for the sake of everyone, to withdraw and restore yourself. It's crucial to recognize that prioritizing oneself is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary step towards maintaining overall well-being. By taking care of ourselves, we are better equipped to support and help others in a sustainable way. So, the next time you feel compelled to sacrifice your own well-being for the sake of others, remember the words of Gautama Buddha. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. It's okay to prioritize yourself sometimes. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup. By acknowledging and addressing the martyr syndrome, we can create a healthier balance between helping others and taking care of our own needs, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. In our modern, fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of ourselves. The pressure to constantly be there for others can be overwhelming, but it's important to remember that self-care is not a luxury. It's a necessity. By setting boundaries and taking time for self-care, we can prevent burnout and maintain our emotional and mental health. As the famous quote by Audre Lorde goes, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." Taking care of ourselves allows us to be more present and effective in our roles, whether as caregivers, professionals, or friends. To relate this to modern life, consider the impact of the martyr syndrome in today's society. With the constant demands of work, family, and social obligations, it's easy to fall into the trap of always putting others first. However, this can lead to a decline in mental health, increased stress levels, and ultimately, a decreased ability to effectively help those we care about. By practicing self-care and setting healthy boundaries, we can ensure that we are functioning at our best, both for ourselves and for those who rely on us. Remember, it is not only acceptable, but necessary to take care of yourself. By doing so, you are not only preserving your own well-being, but also ensuring that you can continue to support and help others in a sustainable and effective way. So, take a moment to reflect on your own needs, set boundaries where necessary, and remember that self-care is an essential part of a healthy and fulfilling life. If you've watched up to this point, you're already on the path to understanding the hidden consequences of helping others. Comment below with "Awareness is key" to affirm your commitment to these eye-opening insights. Don't go anywhere. There's still a wealth of wisdom we want to share with you in this video. Stay until the end to uncover the surprising ways you can protect yourself while offering help to others. Number 4. Financial strain. Financial strain is one of the less talked about consequences of helping others. Even though our intentions are noble, consistently offering financial support can bring hidden costs that go beyond our wallets. Imagine frequently lending money to friends or family members in need. While our first impulse may be to assist without second thoughts, we must consider the long-term repercussions of such generosity. Over time, these financial contributions can add up, potentially risking our financial stability and future security. Moreover, the pressure to always be the financial savior can create a sense of obligation and burden that weighs heavily on us. We may find ourselves sacrificing our financial goals and aspirations to meet the needs of those we are helping, ultimately losing our sense of control over our finances. Consider the story of a kind-hearted man named Suddhodana, who lived in a small village. Suddhodana was known for his generosity and willingness to help anyone in need. He frequently lent money to friends and family, believing he was doing the right thing. However, over time, he found himself in financial trouble. His savings dwindled, and he struggled to make ends meet. One day, an old monk visited the village and shared a story about the importance of self-reliance. The monk spoke of a tree that, despite its strength, would eventually fall if it constantly leaned on others for support. Observing this, the wise monk advised Suddhata to balance his giving with wisdom. The monk told him, "Generosity without discernment can lead to depletion. To truly help, one must also encourage self-reliance." This story resonated with Suddhodana, who realized that by constantly lending money, he was not helping his loved ones become self-reliant. He decided to set boundaries and encourage them to find ways to support themselves. In this way, he empowered them to stand on their own, ensuring that his generosity had a lasting impact. Setting healthy financial boundaries is crucial in avoiding financial strain when helping others. This involves establishing clear guidelines for when and how we are willing to offer financial assistance and communicating these boundaries openly and assertively with those involved. Learning to say no when we are unable or unwilling to provide support is equally important, even if it feels uncomfortable at the moment. By setting these boundaries and learning to say no when necessary, we can ensure that our desire to help does not come at the expense of our financial well-being. Ultimately, true assistance goes beyond financial support. It is about empowering others to become self-reliant and resilient in the face of adversity. Sometimes, the most valuable gift we can offer is the encouragement and support to stand on their own 2 feet. Consider the impact of guiding a loved one toward financial independence rather than continually providing monetary aid. What strategies can you implement to set healthier financial boundaries in your life? How can you empower those around you to become more self-reliant? By reflecting on these questions and incorporating the lessons from Sudatta's story, we can find a balance between generosity and financial prudence, ensuring that our help leads to lasting positive change without compromising our financial health. Remember, the goal is to uplift others without depleting ourselves, fostering a cycle of empowerment and resilience for everyone involved. Number 5. Enabling destructive behavior. Have you ever found yourself trying to help someone only to realize that your well-meaning efforts might be doing more harm than good? This is a common yet often overlooked dilemma when it comes to offering support, particularly in cases where our actions might inadvertently enable destructive behavior. Imagine a friend struggling with addiction. Out of compassion, you might provide financial assistance, lend a sympathetic ear, or even make excuses for their actions. These gestures, though rooted in kindness, can sometimes remove the natural consequences of their behavior, making it easier for them to continue down a harmful path. Buddha once said, "Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts." This quote highlights the importance of self-awareness and responsibility. When we consistently shield others from the repercussions of their actions, we may unintentionally encourage them to stay within the confines of their destructive habits. The key is to find a balance between offering support and holding them accountable. It's about helping them see the full weight of their choices without removing the safety net entirely. Consider the story of a compassionate monk who lived in a small village. He was known for his kindness and willingness to help everyone. One day, a villager with a gambling problem came to the monk, seeking money to pay off his debts. The monk, aware of the villager's habit, gently refused. Instead, he offered to help the villager find work and suggested joining a support group. At first, the villager was upset, but eventually he realized that true support sometimes comes in the form of tough love. This approach helped him break free from his addiction and rebuild his life. This example underscores the necessity of balancing empathy with accountability. When helping others, it's vital to set clear boundaries and offer constructive feedback. Instead of simply providing immediate relief, guide them towards resources and support networks that can facilitate lasting positive change. This could mean encouraging them to seek professional help, attend support groups, or engage in activities that promote their well-being. As the famous saying goes, "Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." This wisdom is particularly relevant in the context of helping those with destructive behaviors. By equipping them with the tools and skills they need to take responsibility for their lives, we empower them to break free from negative patterns and build a healthier, more fulfilling future. Reflecting on this, have you ever faced a situation where your efforts to help someone might have enabled their negative behavior? How did you handle it, and what did you learn from the experience? Sharing your stories and insights can create a deeper understanding of how we can all strive to offer more effective support. In essence, true assistance often requires us to challenge and confront rather than simply enable and condone. By doing so, we create a foundation for genuine growth and transformation. This process involves recognizing the importance of accountability and the need for individuals to reclaim agency over their choices. When we strike this delicate balance, we not only help others navigate their challenges, but also foster a sense of empowerment and self-reliance. It's a journey of learning and growth for both the helper and the one being helped. By understanding the impact of our actions and striving to offer support that encourages responsibility and positive change, we contribute to a cycle of healing and improvement that benefits everyone involved. So the next time you find yourself in a position to help, remember the importance of balancing compassion with accountability. This approach not only aids in breaking destructive patterns, but also helps individuals take meaningful steps towards a brighter, more fulfilling future. Number 6. Resentment and bitterness. In the journey of helping others, there's a subtle yet profound risk that often lurks beneath our well-intentioned actions: the gradual accumulation of resentment and bitterness. Despite our best efforts, these negative emotions can quietly take root, especially when our assistance is met with indifference or lack of appreciation. Imagine dedicating countless hours and resources to support a friend during a difficult time, only to find your efforts go unnoticed or unacknowledged. Over time, this lack of recognition can foster feelings of resentment, which can corrode the foundation of trust and goodwill that initially underpinned the relationship. Resentment can be particularly intense when the help provided isn't reciprocated. Whether it's a lack of gratitude, failure to acknowledge our contributions, or an unwillingness to support us when we're in need, these perceived slights can fuel bitterness and disillusionment. To navigate these treacherous waters, it's crucial to adopt healthy strategies for addressing and managing resentment. One effective approach is to practice empathy, seeking to understand the perspectives and circumstances of those we feel resentful toward. By acknowledging that their actions might be influenced by their own struggles and limitations, we can cultivate compassion and forgiveness, which helps ease the burden of resentment. As the Buddha wisely said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. This insight underscores the importance of letting go of bitterness for our own well-being. Setting clear boundaries and communicating our needs openly and assertively are also vital in preventing resentment. By articulating our expectations and boundaries within relationships, we establish a framework for mutual respect and understanding, reducing the chances of unmet expectations and perceived injustices. This proactive communication fosters healthier interactions and diminishes the likelihood of resentment taking hold. Moreover, addressing and managing feelings of resentment require a willingness to confront uncomfortable emotions and engage in honest dialogue. Whether through journaling, therapy, or direct conversations with those involved, taking proactive steps to address resentment can pave the way for healing and reconciliation. In our modern lives, where relationships and interactions are complex and multifaceted, these practices are even more relevant. It's essential to remember that by acknowledging and processing our feelings in healthy ways, we can release the grip of bitterness and reclaim a sense of peace and emotional well-being. As Confucius once remarked, "To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it." This timeless wisdom reminds us that our peace of mind is within our control, and letting go of resentment is a powerful step towards achieving it. In conclusion, the dark side of helping others, characterized by the buildup of resentment and bitterness, can be mitigated through empathy, clear communication, and setting boundaries. By embracing these strategies, we not only protect our emotional health, but also foster more genuine and fulfilling relationships. The journey of helping others should not lead us to emotional distress, but rather to a place of mutual respect and understanding, where both parties can grow and thrive. If you've made it this far, you're a seeker of wisdom. Drop a comment saying, "I embrace balance," to show you're dedicated to understanding the deeper aspects of helping others. Stay tuned, there's much more to explore. Number 7. Losing yourself in the noble act of helping others. When we dedicate ourselves to helping others, we often risk losing our sense of identity. Picture this. Your days are spent providing a shoulder to cry on for a friend in distress, or volunteering tirelessly for a cause close to your heart. These acts of kindness are invaluable, yet they come with a hidden cost, the gradual erosion of our own sense of self. As we immerse ourselves in the roles of caregiver, confidant, or rescuer, our personal interests, passions, and aspirations can slowly fade into the background, overshadowed by the needs of those we assist. Think of the story of Buddha and the lost monk. There once was a monk who was so devoted to helping others that he forgot to take care of himself. He neglected his meditation practice, his health, and even his spiritual studies. One day, Buddha visited the monk and noticed his fatigue and loss of purpose. Buddha gently reminded him, "To serve others well, you must first serve yourself. Just as a lamp must be filled with oil to give light, so must you nourish your own spirit to illuminate the paths of others." This story beautifully illustrates the importance of maintaining balance between helping others and caring for ourselves. Maintaining personal boundaries and engaging in hobbies are crucial to safeguarding against the loss of identity that often accompanies helping others. Carve out time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, whether it's painting, hiking, playing music, or simply reading a good book. These hobbies remind you that you are more than just a caregiver. You are a multifaceted individual with your own dreams and desires. By reconnecting with yourself and recharging your spirit, you can continue to offer support from a place of authenticity and strength. Moreover, establishing clear boundaries is essential for preserving your sense of self while assisting others. Define when and how you're available to help, and don't hesitate to set limits. This might mean allocating specific times for volunteer work or kindly declining requests for assistance when you're feeling overwhelmed or depleted. Remember, it's okay to say no sometimes. By doing so, you create space for your own needs and priorities, ensuring that you don't lose yourself in the process of helping others. Consider the tale of the two arrows. In Buddhist teachings, there's a concept that when you're hit by an arrow, it's painful. But when you're hit by a second arrow in the same spot, the pain is magnified. The first arrow represents unavoidable pain, like the struggles others face. The second arrow is the additional pain we inflict on ourselves by neglecting our own needs while trying to help. Avoid the second arrow by taking care of your own well-being first. While the act of helping others is undoubtedly noble, it's essential to maintain a balance that doesn't compromise your own identity. By setting personal boundaries and engaging in activities that nourish your spirit, you ensure that your support comes from a place of wholeness and strength. Ask yourself, how can you better serve others if you are not whole? How can you offer genuine support if your own well-being is compromised? Ultimately, honoring your own needs allows you to show up for others in a meaningful and sustainable way. The lesson here is clear. Prioritize your own self-care to be the best version of yourself for those you wish to help. Only then can your acts of compassion truly shine, bringing light to both your life and the lives of those you touch. In what ways can you start setting boundaries and reconnecting with your own passions today? How might this change the way you help others? Reflect on these questions and take steps towards a balanced, fulfilling life where your own identity thrives alongside your compassionate efforts. Number 8. Impact on relationships. Imagine you're always ready to lend a hand, always eager to help those around you. It sounds noble, right? But let's pause for a moment and explore a less discussed aspect: the hidden impact this constant helping can have on your personal relationships. This is what we call the dark side of helping others. Have you ever considered how this relentless focus on aiding others might subtly yet profoundly strain your connections with those closest to you? Think about it. When you dedicate most of your time and energy to assisting friends or colleagues, how much is left for your partner, your family, or even yourself? This imbalance can lead to feelings of neglect and resentment, no matter how pure your intentions are. Your significant other might start to feel overlooked, wondering why they always seem to come second to everyone else in your life. Let's delve deeper. When you're constantly in the role of a helper, your relationships might shift into transactional territory. They become less about genuine connection and more about the exchange of support. You may not notice it immediately, but over time, this dynamic can erode the authenticity and depth of your bonds. Instead of experiencing true intimacy, you find yourself stuck in roles, the caregiver and the one being cared for, which can lead to feelings of disconnection and loneliness. If your spiritual life is consumed by the needs of others, where is the space for your own growth and for nurturing the soul of your relationships? To navigate this complex terrain, maintaining healthy boundaries is crucial. It's not about stopping your help, but about finding a balance. Set aside time that is exclusively for your loved ones, moments free from distractions where you can fully engage with them. Communicate openly about your needs and priorities. This isn't selfish, it's necessary for mutual respect and understanding. By doing this, you cultivate a more balanced and fulfilling dynamic. Empathy and compassion are your allies in this journey. Truly listening to your loved ones and valuing their perspectives fosters an environment where everyone feels important. As the Dalai Lama said, "Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive." In your quest to help others, ensure that your own relationships are nurtured with the same love and compassion you extend to the world. Now, ask yourself, are your helping habits enhancing your relationships, or are they creating invisible barriers? Reflect on how you can adjust your approach. Can you think of ways to help others without compromising your personal connections? The noble act of helping others should never come at the expense of your own well-being and relationships. Prioritize open communication and respect to ensure your connections remain strong. Remember, the most meaningful support you can offer often blossoms within the context of genuine, nurturing relationships. It's not just about being there for others, but also about being present in your own life, finding a balance that enriches both you and those you care about. After all, in the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, the most precious gift we can offer others is our presence. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. So, how do you maintain this balance in your life? Have you ever felt the strain of being too helpful? Share your thoughts, and let's create a conversation that helps us all navigate this delicate balance more effectively. Number 9. Emotional drain. When we help others, we often lend a sympathetic ear and offer support during their times of distress. This act of compassion is commendable and aligns with the teachings of Buddhism, which emphasize the importance of compassion and kindness. However, it's crucial to recognize the potential for emotional drain that can accompany this selfless act. Absorbing others' problems and traumas without setting proper boundaries can lead to a profound emotional toll on our well-being. Imagine constantly shouldering the weight of others' burdens, absorbing their pain and suffering as if it were your own. Over time, this emotional labor can become overwhelming, leading to feelings of exhaustion, burnout, and compassion fatigue. This scenario is a vivid illustration of the Buddhist concept of dukkha, or suffering, which can manifest even in the act of helping others. Without adequate boundaries in place, helpers risk becoming emotionally depleted, leaving little room for their own needs and self-care. The importance of self-care and emotional resilience cannot be overstated in the context of helping others. Just as the Buddha taught the importance of balance and the middle way, we must find a balance between helping others and taking care of ourselves. Engaging in activities that recharge and rejuvenate us, whether it's spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness, or seeking support from friends and loved ones, is essential for maintaining emotional balance. These activities align with the Buddhist practice of metta, or loving kindness, which includes being kind and compassionate to oneself. Furthermore, developing emotional resilience is key to navigating the inevitable challenges and setbacks that accompany helping others. This resilience enables us to bounce back from difficult situations, set healthy boundaries, and recognize when it's necessary to step back and prioritize our own needs. By cultivating emotional resilience, helpers can continue to offer support to others without sacrificing their own mental and emotional health in the process. This approach resonates with the Buddhist teaching of upekkha, or equanimity, which helps us remain balanced and centered amidst life's challenges. In essence, while helping others can be incredibly rewarding, it's essential to approach it mindfully and with self-awareness. By setting boundaries, practicing self-care, and cultivating emotional resilience, helpers can continue to make a positive impact while safeguarding their own well-being. Consider this: how can we continue to be a source of strength and support for others if we ourselves are running on empty? Reflecting on this question can help us understand the importance of self-care and emotional resilience in our journey of helping others. By ensuring we are emotionally balanced and resilient, we not only enhance our capacity to help others, but also create a healthier and more sustainable way of living. So the next time you find yourself lending a sympathetic ear or offering support, remember to also take a moment for yourself. Engage in practices that nourish your soul and rejuvenate your spirit. In doing so, you honor the Buddhist teachings of compassion and balance, ensuring that your acts of kindness are not only beneficial to others, but also to yourself. How do you plan to balance your acts of helping others with self-care? This question invites you to explore and share your own strategies for maintaining emotional health, while continuing to be a source of support for those in need. In conclusion, helping others is a noble and compassionate act, but it's essential to approach it with mindfulness and self-awareness. By setting boundaries, practicing self-care, and cultivating emotional resilience, we can make a positive impact on others while also safeguarding our own well-being. As the Dalai Lama wisely said, compassion is not a relationship between the healer and the wounded. It's a relationship between equals. By taking care of ourselves, we can truly show up for others in a meaningful and sustainable way. If you've watched up to this point, you're already on the path to understanding the hidden consequences of helping others. Comment below with Mindful Helper to affirm your commitment to these insightful teachings. Don't go anywhere. there's still a wealth of wisdom we want to share with you in this video. Stay until the end to uncover the surprising ways that mindful assistance can truly benefit both you and those around you. Number 10. Unrealistic expectations. Helping others is a noble endeavor, but it often comes with the hidden burden of unrealistic expectations. The pressure to be perpetually available and to place others' needs above our own can lead to a cycle of stress and burnout that's tough to escape. This expectation can be self-imposed or come from those we help, creating an overwhelming sense of obligation. Picture this. A close friend or family member relies on you entirely for support and guidance, expecting you to drop everything whenever they need assistance. While our initial reaction might be to help out of genuine concern, the relentless demands can quickly become exhausting. Setting realistic boundaries and managing expectations is crucial. This involves clear, open communication about your availability and limits, establishing guidelines for when and how you can help. It's about respecting your own needs and priorities, which in turn fosters healthier and more sustainable relationships. It requires self-awareness and the courage to advocate for yourself, recognizing that it's okay to say no and to set limits. This can be difficult, especially if you worry about disappointing others or being perceived as selfish, but it's essential for your well-being. In Buddhism, there's a story about a wise monk who lived in a village. He was known for his kindness and wisdom, and people often sought his counsel. One day, a troubled man came to the monk, burdened by his problems and seeking advice. The monk listened patiently, but realized that the man was not willing to make any changes or take any responsibility for his own life. The monk kindly advised him, but did not allow himself to be consumed by the man's issues. Instead, he offered guidance and then let go, understanding that his role was to help, not to fix someone else's life. This story illustrates the importance of knowing your limits and not allowing others to become overly dependent on you. By reframing what it means to be helpful, you can challenge the societal norms that place unrealistic demands on those who help others. It's about finding a balance that allows you to offer support while also maintaining your own well-being. Reflect on this. Are there areas in your life where you feel overwhelmed by the expectations placed on you? How can you set boundaries that protect your energy and mental health? It's important to remember that helping others should not come at the expense of your own well-being. Establishing realistic boundaries is not only beneficial for you, but also for those you help. It prevents dependency and encourages others to take responsibility for their own lives. By managing expectations, you teach others that you value your own time and energy, and you set an example of healthy self-care. Ultimately, the goal is to create a supportive environment that respects both your needs and those of others. This balance allows you to be genuinely helpful without sacrificing your own health and happiness. So next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by the demands of others, take a step back and evaluate your boundaries. Are they realistic? Do they honor your own needs? Remember, it's okay to put yourself first sometimes. Your well-being is just as important as that of those you help. While the pressure to always be available and helpful may be deeply ingrained in our culture, it's vital to recognize the impact it has on our mental and physical health. By setting realistic boundaries, managing expectations, and advocating for ourselves, we can cultivate a healthier and more sustainable approach to helping others. This way, we can continue to offer support without compromising our own well-being. How do you handle the pressure of unrealistic expectations? What steps can you take today to start setting healthier boundaries in your life? Number 11. Compassion fatigue. Compassion, while a noble and essential quality, can sometimes lead to an unexpected consequence: compassion fatigue. This phenomenon refers to the emotional and physical exhaustion that arises from prolonged exposure to the suffering and trauma of others. As helpers, our capacity for empathy and compassion can become depleted over time, leaving us feeling drained, overwhelmed, and emotionally numb. For instance, consider a healthcare worker who spends long hours caring for patients in distress, or a social worker who listens to harrowing stories of abuse and trauma day in and day out. While their intentions may be to offer support and alleviate suffering, the relentless exposure to others' pain can take a toll on their own well-being. Techniques for combating compassion fatigue and fostering resilience are essential in mitigating its impact on helpers. One strategy involves practicing self-care rituals that replenish and rejuvenate our emotional reserves. Engaging in activities that bring us joy and relaxation, such as meditation, exercise, or spending time in nature, can be incredibly beneficial. Moreover, seeking support from peers, mentors, or mental health professionals provides a vital lifeline for helpers struggling with compassion fatigue. Sharing our experiences and vulnerabilities with others who understand the unique challenges of helping professions offers solace, validation, and guidance in navigating the complexities of compassion fatigue. Additionally, setting healthy boundaries and practicing self-compassion are crucial in preserving our well-being. Learning to recognize our own limits and saying no when necessary allows us to prioritize our needs and prevent burnout. Similarly, cultivating self-compassion enables us to extend the same kindness and understanding to ourselves that we offer to others, fostering resilience in the face of adversity. In essence, while compassion fatigue may be an inevitable occupational hazard for helpers, it is not insurmountable. By implementing strategies for self-care, seeking support, and practicing self-compassion, we can navigate the challenges of compassion fatigue with grace and resilience, ensuring that we can continue to offer support and assistance to others in a sustainable and meaningful way. Drawing inspiration from modern life, consider the advice of Eleanor Brown. Rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. This perspective encourages us to prioritize our well-being so that we can better serve those in need. Furthermore, it's essential to recognize that everyone, regardless of their profession, can experience compassion fatigue. Parents, teachers, and caregivers are often at risk as they continuously provide emotional and physical support to others. Therefore, integrating self-care practices into our daily routines is vital. Whether it's taking a few moments for deep breathing exercises during a hectic day or dedicating time each week to engage in hobbies, these small acts of self-care can have a profound impact on our overall well-being. Additionally, fostering a supportive community around us can greatly alleviate the burden of compassion fatigue. Connecting with others who share similar experiences allows for mutual support and understanding. This can be through formal support groups or simply regular check-ins with friends and colleagues. By cultivating these relationships, we create a network of care that can provide strength and encouragement during challenging times. Moreover, it's crucial to address the societal expectations that often discourage self-care. Many people feel guilty or selfish for taking time for themselves, but this mindset must change. Prioritizing self-care is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-preservation that enables us to continue helping others effectively. As the Dalai Lama said, if you feel burnout setting in, if you feel demoralized and exhausted, it is best, for the sake of everyone, to withdraw and restore yourself. This wisdom reminds us that stepping back and recharging is essential for long-term sustainability in any helping role. In conclusion, while the dark side of helping others, compassion fatigue, poses significant challenges, it also offers an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By embracing self-care, seeking support, and practicing self-compassion, we can transform our approach to helping others, ensuring that we do so from a place of strength and resilience. This not only benefits us, but also enhances the quality of care and support we can provide to those in need. So, remember to be kind to yourself. Set health. Number 12. Overlooking red flags. When we dedicate ourselves to helping others, we often overlook warning signs or red flags in their behavior. This is especially true when we dismiss troubling patterns as isolated incidents or downplay the seriousness of the situation, driven by our desire to offer support. Picture this. A friend consistently makes excuses for their partner's controlling behavior, attributing it to stress or temporary difficulties in the relationship. Despite mounting evidence of manipulation or abuse, they choose to ignore the warning signs, believing they can help their partner change or improve. In such cases, our well-intentioned efforts may inadvertently enable harmful behavior to continue unchecked. To navigate these complex situations effectively, we must develop strategies for recognizing and addressing warning signs without compromising our own well-being. Cultivating self-awareness and paying attention to our intuition are essential steps. If something feels off or doesn't sit right, it's crucial to trust our gut instincts and investigate further rather than dismissing our concerns. Maintaining open and honest communication with the individual we're trying to help is also vital. Expressing our concerns in a non-judgmental and empathetic manner can make a significant difference. For example, you might say, "I've noticed some patterns that worry me, and I want to support you in finding a healthier path." This approach fosters a safe space for the individual to share their experiences and concerns openly, without fear of judgment. Additionally, seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or professionals can provide invaluable perspective and guidance. By consulting with others who may have different insights or expertise, we can gain a more comprehensive understanding of the situation and develop a balanced approach. Buddhist teachings offer profound insights into the importance of compassion and mindfulness in helping others. Consider the story of the Buddha and the serpent. The Buddha once encountered a vicious serpent terrorizing a village. Instead of confronting it with aggression, he approached it with calm and compassion. Through his gentle presence and understanding, the serpent eventually ceased its harmful behavior. This story illustrates the power of compassion and awareness in transforming negative situations. As we reflect on these lessons, it becomes clear that while helping others is a noble endeavor, we must remain vigilant and attentive to warning signs or red flags that may indicate underlying issues. By cultivating self-awareness, maintaining open communication, and seeking support when needed, we can navigate these complexities with compassion and integrity, ensuring our efforts to help are both effective and sustainable. How can we balance our desire to help others with the need to recognize and address warning signs effectively? By pondering this question, we can deepen our understanding and enhance our ability to support others in a meaningful and mindful way. In summary, helping others requires a delicate balance of compassion, awareness, and self-care. By trusting our instincts, communicating openly, and seeking external support, we can provide meaningful assistance while safeguarding our well-being. This approach not only benefits those we aim to help, but also ensures that our efforts are grounded in wisdom and mindfulness. fostering positive and lasting change in our lives and the lives of others. Number 13. Self-neglect. As we journey through life, the desire to help those around us often becomes a cornerstone of our personal philosophy. However, this noble pursuit can sometimes lead us down a path of self-neglect. Picture yourself constantly attending to the needs of your friends, family, or colleagues, all while disregarding your own well-being. This relentless focus on assisting others can leave little room for self-care, resulting in a detrimental impact on our physical, emotional, and mental health. Consider the scenario where you are so absorbed in helping others that you skip essential self-care practices like getting enough sleep, eating healthily, or taking necessary breaks to recharge. Over time, this pattern can lead to exhaustion, burnout, and a significant decrease in your overall resilience. We often extend empathy and understanding to those in need, but it is equally important to offer the same kindness to ourselves. Recognizing our own limitations and setting realistic boundaries is crucial. Prioritizing our well-being doesn't mean we are selfish. Rather, it means we are ensuring that we have the strength and energy to continue supporting others effectively. By incorporating self-care into our daily routine, we replenish our emotional reserves and boost our resilience. Self-care can take many forms, such as engaging in activities that bring joy and relaxation, practicing mindfulness and meditation, or seeking support from friends, family, or mental health professionals. The Dalai Lama once said, "If you feel burnout setting in, if you feel demoralized and exhausted, it is best, for the sake of everyone, to withdraw and restore yourself." This wisdom highlights the importance of taking time for ourselves to prevent burnout and maintain our capacity to help others. Imagine if we could balance our efforts to help others with a commitment to our own well-being. By doing so, we would not only safeguard our health, but also enhance our ability to make a positive impact in the lives of those we aim to assist. It's a simple yet profound truth. We cannot pour from an empty cup. True assistance begins with self-care, and by nurturing ourselves, we ensure that we are in the best possible position to offer meaningful and sustainable support to others. Reflect on your own life. Are there moments when you've neglected your needs in the service of others? How has this impacted your ability to continue offering support? Engaging in this self-reflection can lead to a deeper understanding of the balance needed between helping others and caring for ourselves. By embracing self-compassion and self-care, we not only improve our well-being, but also become better equipped to contribute positively to the lives of others. In the grand tapestry of life, where our actions interweave with the well-being of those around us, it is essential to remember that self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity. By prioritizing our own needs, we lay a strong foundation that enables us to be present and effective in our efforts to help others. As the Buddha taught, to keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. So next time you find yourself overwhelmed by the demands of helping others, take a step back and ask yourself, have I taken the time to care for myself today? How can I integrate self-care into my routine to ensure that I am at my best, both for myself and for those I seek to support? These questions can guide us toward a more balanced and sustainable approach to helping others, one that honors both our needs and our noble intentions. Ultimately, the path to truly effective assistance is paved with self-compassion and mindful self-care. By embracing these practices, we ensure that we are not only able to help others, but also thrive in our own lives. This harmonious balance is the key to a fulfilling and impactful life, where our efforts to support others are both sustainable and deeply meaningful. What steps can you take today to start prioritizing your own well-being while continuing to help those around you? Thank you for joining us in today's video. Before we move on to the next segment, I'd like to express my gratitude to you. It's a pleasure to have you as a member of our community. Please feel free to share your thoughts or personal experiences. Alternatively, if you're unsure of what to say, simply leave a comment saying, "I am a mindful helper," if you've just joined us, or "I am enlightened," if you've been with us for a while. Your engagement not only signifies your presence, but also serves as a significant motivation for us. All right, let's continue this journey together, shall we? Why compassion needs to be accompanied by wisdom, teaching Buddha's Dharma. In the teachings of Buddhism, compassion is one of the most revered and emphasized virtues. It is the heartfelt wish for all beings to be free from suffering. However, the Buddha also taught that compassion alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by wisdom. This combination is essential for truly effective and transformative actions that benefit all beings. Let's explore why compassion needs to be paired with wisdom, according to Buddha's Dharma. 1. Understanding compassion and wisdom in Buddhism. In Buddhism, compassion, known as karuna, is the profound empathetic concern for the suffering of others, accompanied by a genuine desire to alleviate it. Wisdom, or prajna, on the other hand, is the deep, insightful understanding of the nature of reality, particularly the concepts of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. These two qualities, compassion and wisdom, are akin to the two wings of a bird. Both are essential for soaring on the path to enlightenment. To truly comprehend why compassion needs to be accompanied by wisdom, one must delve into the teachings of the Buddha. According to the Buddha, without wisdom, compassion can become misguided and ineffective. For instance, an act of compassion without understanding the deeper context may result in unintended harm. Wisdom provides the necessary clarity and discernment to ensure that our compassionate actions are truly beneficial and do not inadvertently perpetuate suffering. The Dalai Lama beautifully encapsulates this relationship by stating, "Compassion without wisdom is like trying to relieve someone's pain by cutting off a limb without realizing that it would cause more suffering." This illustrates how wisdom guides compassion, ensuring that our intentions lead to genuine, long-lasting relief. Furthermore, wisdom without compassion can become detached and indifferent. It is through compassion that wisdom becomes humane and grounded in the reality of human experience. A wise person without compassion may understand the nature of suffering, but lack the motivation to alleviate it. Compassion fuels the drive to use wisdom for the betterment of others, creating a balanced and holistic approach to life's challenges. This is evident in the story of Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion, who embodies both immense compassion and profound wisdom. Avalokiteshvara's vow to alleviate the suffering of all sentient beings is guided by a deep understanding of the nature of reality, demonstrating how these two qualities work in harmony. In our modern lives, the integration of compassion and wisdom is crucial. Consider a situation where you see a homeless person on the street. A compassionate reaction might be to give them money, but without wisdom, this act might not address the root cause of their suffering. Applying wisdom, one might instead seek to understand the person's situation more deeply, possibly supporting organizations that provide sustainable solutions like housing, job training, and mental health services. This balanced approach ensures that your actions are both compassionate and effective. As the Buddha said, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. This spiritual life is nurtured by the interplay of compassion and wisdom, guiding us to live in a way that truly benefits others and ourselves. To incorporate these teachings into your daily life, practice mindfulness to cultivate both compassion and wisdom. When faced with a decision, pause and reflect on both the immediate compassionate response and the long-term implications of your actions. Seek to understand the broader context and potential outcomes. Engage in continuous learning and self-reflection to deepen your wisdom. Remember, compassion and wisdom are not static traits, but skills that can be developed and refined over time. By doing so, you align your life with the path of enlightenment, where your actions are guided by both a caring heart and a discerning mind. In the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, understanding is the heart of love. If you cannot understand, you cannot love properly. Thus, let your compassion be informed by wisdom, and let your wisdom be imbued with compassion, creating a harmonious balance that leads to true and lasting enlightenment. 2. What if wisdom does not have compassion? Imagine a world where wisdom stands alone, unaccompanied by compassion. Picture a person who possesses deep understanding and profound insight into the nature of reality, who knows the impermanence of all things and the illusion of the self, but who lacks a genuine concern for the well-being of others. This kind of wisdom, while intellectually sharp and perceptive, can become cold and detached. It risks leading to a sense of indifference towards the suffering of others. Consider this. True wisdom sees the interconnectedness of all beings and understands that our actions ripple out, affecting the world around us. However, if this wisdom is not coupled with compassion, it fails to inspire actions that uplift and support others. The Buddha once said, "In separateness lies the world's great misery. In compassion lies the world's true strength." Wisdom without compassion can recognize the transient nature of life and the falsehood of a permanent self, but it misses the mark in translating this understanding into meaningful, compassionate action. Let's delve deeper into this concept. When we speak of wisdom, we often refer to an enlightened perspective, an understanding of the deeper truths of existence. But what happens when this wisdom remains an abstract idea, disconnected from the warmth of the human heart? It can lead to a form of detachment that, instead of liberating, isolates. Without compassion, wisdom can become an ivory tower of knowledge, inaccessible and unrelatable to those it aims to help. Think about a person who sees through the illusions of the material world, but does nothing to alleviate the suffering they witness. This scenario highlights a critical flaw. Wisdom alone is not enough. It is the compassionate application of wisdom that brings about true transformation. As the Dalai Lama teaches, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. Compassion ensures that our wisdom is grounded in the reality of human experience, that it is used not just to understand the world, but to make it better. The interplay between wisdom and compassion is essential for holistic growth. Compassion acts as the heart's response to the mind's realizations. When we feel the pain of others as our own, our wisdom gains depth and relevance. It is no longer about what we know, but about how we use that knowledge to foster kindness and alleviate suffering. This integration of head and heart transforms our understanding into a force for good, one that heals and nurtures rather than distances and alienates. Imagine a leader who possesses great wisdom but lacks compassion. Their decisions, while perhaps logically sound, might lack the empathy needed to truly benefit their people. Contrast this with a leader who embodies both wisdom and compassion. Their actions are not only wise, but also kind, ensuring that their wisdom serves the greater good. This balance is beautifully encapsulated in the words of Thich Nhat Hanh: "Compassion is a verb. It requires action, and it is through compassionate action that wisdom finds its highest expression." Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever encountered someone whose advice, though wise, felt hollow because it lacked empathy? Or have you found yourself knowing what is right but struggling to act because the compassion was missing? These experiences illustrate the importance of marrying wisdom with compassion. They show us that wisdom, to be truly effective, must be lived and felt, not just understood. Now, I invite you to ponder: how can we cultivate a balance of wisdom and compassion in our own lives? What steps can we take to ensure that our insights are used to uplift others and ourselves? By asking these questions, we begin a journey of self-discovery and growth, where wisdom and compassion are not separate paths, but intertwined aspects of a fulfilling life. In conclusion, wisdom without compassion is like a river without water, dry, barren, and devoid of life. It is through compassion that our wisdom gains purpose and power, transforming not just our understanding, but the world around us. As we strive to develop both, let us remember the words of Buddha: "Resolve to be tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant with the weak and wrong. Sometime in life, you will have been all of these." By embodying both wisdom and compassion, we create a legacy of kindness and understanding that touches the hearts and minds of those we encounter. 3. What happens if compassion lacks wisdom? When compassion is not paired with wisdom, it can lead to actions that, despite being well-intentioned, may not result in the desired positive outcomes. For example, acting purely out of compassion without understanding the deeper causes of suffering can lead to misguided efforts. Imagine trying to help someone by giving them money without recognizing that they might use it to fuel an addiction. This act, while compassionate, doesn't address the root cause and may even worsen the situation. Compassionate actions need to be thoughtful and informed to truly alleviate suffering and bring lasting change. Wisdom provides the clarity and insight necessary to guide compassionate actions effectively. Without it, we might offer temporary relief, but fail to make a significant impact. It's like treating the symptoms of a disease without addressing the underlying illness. The problem persists and might even grow worse over time. To illustrate this, consider the story of a wise Buddhist monk who encountered a village suffering from a severe drought. Instead of simply bringing water, he taught the villagers how to dig a well and find a sustainable source of water. His compassionate action, guided by wisdom, provided a lasting solution to their suffering. Additionally, compassion without wisdom can lead to personal burnout. Constantly striving to help others without recognizing our own limits and the impermanent nature of all things can drain our mental and emotional energy. This often results in feelings of helplessness, frustration, and even resentment. Wisdom helps us understand the balance between self-care and caring for others, ensuring that our efforts are sustainable and truly beneficial. Consider the story of a kind-hearted monk who lived in a village plagued by hunger. Moved by compassion, he decided to share his food with the hungry villagers. However, he gave away so much that he eventually had nothing left for himself, leading to his own suffering. The villagers, now dependent on his charity, did not learn how to sustain themselves, and the cycle of hunger continued. This story illustrates that while the monk's compassion was noble, it lacked the wisdom to create a sustainable solution. In another instance, imagine a parent who loves their child dearly and wants to protect them from all harm. Out of compassion, the parent might shield the child from every difficulty, solving every problem for them. While this seems kind, it prevents the child from developing resilience and problem-solving skills, ultimately making them ill-equipped to handle life's challenges. Here, the parent's compassion is well-intended but lacks the wisdom to foster the child's growth and independence. The Buddha often taught that true compassion must be accompanied by wisdom. In the Jataka tales, there is a story of a wise king who ruled with both compassion and wisdom. One day, a wild elephant broke into the village, causing panic and fear. The king, understanding the villagers' distress, ordered his men to capture and tame the elephant rather than kill it. Through patient training and care, the elephant became a gentle and helpful companion to the villagers. The king's actions, guided by wisdom, turned a potential disaster into a positive outcome, benefiting both the elephant and the people. In our own lives, we can practice compassionate wisdom by first understanding the situation deeply before taking action. This means considering the long-term effects of our actions and striving to empower others rather than creating dependency. For example, instead of just giving money to someone in need, we could also help them find employment or learn new skills, thereby providing a sustainable path out of poverty. In conclusion, compassion and wisdom must go hand in hand. Compassion drives us to act, while wisdom ensures those actions are meaningful and effective. By integrating wisdom into our compassionate efforts, we not only help others more effectively, but also protect ourselves from burnout. This balance allows us to contribute positively to the world in a sustainable way. So remember to let wisdom guide your compassion, ensuring your actions lead to true and lasting relief for those you aim to help. 4. Practicing compassion and wisdom in daily life. In our daily lives, practicing compassion and wisdom requires a deep commitment to mindfulness and reflection. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and attentive to the needs of others, while reflection allows us to discern the most skillful actions to take. When we encounter someone suffering, it's essential to pause and consider the wisest course of action. This process involves asking ourselves critical questions. What is the root cause of this suffering? What action will truly help alleviate it? What are my own motivations and limitations? By engaging in this thoughtful inquiry, we ensure that our actions are both compassionate and wise. For example, if a friend is experiencing a difficult time, our compassion may prompt us to offer support, but wisdom will guide us on how to provide that support in a manner that is genuinely beneficial. This could mean simply being there to listen, offering practical help, or sometimes recognizing that the best support we can provide is encouraging them to seek professional assistance. The teachings of Buddha emphasize that compassion without wisdom can be misguided and may even cause harm despite our best intentions. Therefore, it is crucial to balance our compassionate impulses with a wise understanding of the situation. Buddha once said, "Compassion is that which makes the heart of the good move at the pain of others. It crushes and destroys the pain of others. Thus, it is called compassion." This quote highlights the essence of true compassion, which seeks to alleviate suffering with both a kind heart and a discerning mind. In modern life, where stress and challenges are omnipresent, integrating compassion and wisdom into our interactions can transform our relationships and communities. A key aspect of practicing compassion and wisdom is understanding that our actions must be tailored to each unique situation. This requires us to be observant and perceptive, recognizing the specific needs and circumstances of those we wish to help. For instance, if a colleague at work is overwhelmed with stress, offering to help with their workload might be more beneficial than providing emotional support. Conversely, if a loved one is grieving, our presence and empathy might be more valuable than any practical assistance we could offer. The famous Buddhist saying, "Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule," reminds us that our actions should be guided by love and understanding rather than mere reactionary impulses. Incorporating compassion and wisdom into our daily lives also involves self-awareness and self-care. We must recognize our limitations and ensure that our efforts to help others do not lead to burnout or resentment. Reflecting on our motivations helps us act from a place of genuine concern rather than a desire for recognition or approval. The Dalai Lama once said, "If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion." This wisdom underscores the reciprocal nature of compassion. By caring for others, we also nurture our well-being. Moreover, in the context of modern life, where social media and digital communication often dominate our interactions, practicing compassion and wisdom can help us navigate these platforms mindfully. We can choose to engage positively, offering support and kindness rather than contributing to negativity or conflict. When we see someone sharing their struggles online, a thoughtful message or a gesture of support can make a significant difference, showing that compassion and wisdom extend beyond face-to-face interactions. In conclusion, the integration of compassion and wisdom in our daily lives is not just a noble pursuit, but a practical necessity for fostering meaningful connections and a harmonious society. By staying mindful and reflective, we can ensure that our actions are both kind and effective, addressing the root causes of suffering and providing genuine support. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, let us remember the wisdom of Buddha and other great teachers, using their insights to guide our compassionate actions. Through this balanced approach, we can create a ripple effect of positivity and healing in our communities, embodying the timeless principles of Buddhist Dharma in every interaction. In closing, as we've explored, helping others can indeed have a dark side that isn't often discussed. While the act of helping is inherently noble, it's crucial to be mindful of the potential consequences and ensure our compassion is balanced with wisdom. By recognizing and addressing these surprising ways helping can harm us, we can better support both ourselves and those we aim to help. Thank you for joining us on this journey of understanding. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel, The Journey of Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Together, let's continue to learn and grow in wisdom and compassion.